Hello, welcome to Silicon Beach. I'm with Vince Brody. He is the founder and CEO of This Moment. And this is a follow-up piece done with the Main Street Business Improvement Association about community development. It's somewhat of a program, which I'll let him really explain the details of it, but it's a program that pulls together the community with video, with engagement conversations, with photographs. It's just a way to pull together a large group of people so that they're all kind of in one spot. So tell me a little bit about This Moment so that we kind of get a little more understanding of it.
Yeah. Well, This Moment is a company that's been around for about 4 years, and we are a software company. And most of what we have done over the past 4 years has been working with really big brands to help do what you just said, which is build community around their brands. And you know, the world that we live in, it used to be that a brand would have its own website and it would have its ads. And that would be what it did online. But now it has to have a Facebook page and a YouTube channel and a mobile page and all of these different things. And we just saw that you know, even as the sort of all the touch points were exploding, the audience was really fragmenting. And so it was harder and harder to actually build a community because everybody was siloed from each other. So what we did was to create software that could allow a brand to take all of its assets, its photos, its videos, all of its social capabilities, and all the other things, you know, whether they want people to, you know, give an email address or click here for a free sample, just all the kinds of transactional things that a brand would want. Bring those all together in a unified interface and then distribute it out to all the different places where the brand is reaching its audience. And in so doing, connect all of those different community members together. And that's what we've been working on for the past several years, and we've been very successful doing that.
And how is Main Street doing with this? Because you did launch, right?
Yep.
It has launched.
Yep.
So how is that happening?
Yeah, so the genesis of that was I met this woman named Kira Reed and Nick Adler, who had developed this idea. Nick was a club owner of the Roxy on the Sunset Strip, and they developed this idea of the social strip. And to make a long story and very interesting story short, what they developed was, instead of all of the merchants on that street competing with each other and thinking of themselves as taking money out of each other's pockets, they began to think of themselves as a community that should be working together to draw more foot traffic to the Sunset Strip. And as they did that through social media, they began to see that really it was very powerful, and they could, you know, work together, cross-promote, do you know, sort of promotions that would encourage people to visit multiple places on the strip, and that really worked. And it not only worked with consumers, it also worked in terms of letting them have kind of a unified voice to the city. So they're able to make progress there. So this was a really interesting idea to me, but the problem was it wasn't really scalable because you had to have a Kira Reed or a Nick Adler to actually pull it off. But the more I thought about it, it's like they want to do the same thing that these big brands want to do. So why don't we see if we could apply our system to this application? And in order to actually figure out whether it would really work, we needed to have a real live example. And it just so happens that we office here on Main Street in Santa Monica, and it just so happens that a lot of members of the business improvement, groups and merchants and so forth are meeting all around us all the time, and so we're able to attend the meeting, make some introductions, and say, hey, let's experiment with this. Let's see if we can, through software and through social, bring the community together online, but then actually get everybody working to draw more traffic to Main Street in Santa Monica.
Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense. It's, in a way, sounds a little ideal, doesn't it? I mean, people's egos, and that's why it hasn't happened already. But I think social media, because it is one step removed, and you can somewhat be neutral in your attitude. I
Yeah.
think that maybe that is why it could kind of encourage somewhat engagement and somewhat of a platform.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think so. That's why you have to try this in the real world, right? Not everybody on the street likes each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's going to start singing Kumbaya and suddenly, everything's great. But they do have certain things like their big holiday event, or they do a big event here on the solstice, where these are occasions when they do want to work together, they need to work together. And so the question really is, how can we make that group effort easier, and then how can we use social to promote it more broadly so that there's more attention given to it, and ultimately that's more successful. It hasn't been done. The sense of, basically taking software, using it to make everyone on this street really aware of what everyone else on the street is doing, what events are they having, what are they talking about via social, what things are they promoting, and then to be able to allow them to tap into that, have it be visible, and then to work together, basically give them a joint space online where they can work together, share knowledge, share, if they're doing an event, share assets, promote, see what the community's saying, have it all be tied together. People working together out of self-interest, but recognizing their self-interest will be best served by bringing everyone else in. That's new, and the software to do it is new. So I hope it will be available this year to the broader world, but right now it's just
I see This Moment. Thismoment.com is where it is.
Yeah.
I on YouTube I see the AdSense ads out there.
Yep.
So what is it from the site that you're promoting right now?
Yeah. So we'll just think of it as we have a core business, which is This Moment, and we have this software product, which is licensed by 150 Fortune 500 companies, and we just introduced it into the market about 3 years ago. So it's been very rapidly adopted. All the movie studios, all the automotive companies, all the technology companies, pretty much every industry has these core issues of building community and managing all their different digital touch points. And so we're on that track, and we'll do that. And you can go to our site today, and if you want to buy it from us today and you have enough money and time and can develop the assets, great, we're happy to sell it to you. But the Main Street project is really a very specific kind of new twist on our software that is not designed for a corporation. It's designed for a physical location where a bunch of people want to A, be able to tap into what's going on around them, and B, work together to promote whatever it is they want to promote, an event, a sale, or just a wine tasting that's happening in the bookstore next door. And in addition to that, to allow that community to speak very easily to the city, upon whom they are very dependent for approvals and zoning and all those kinds of support mechanisms, and to allow them to do that more efficiently and with a more unified voice than they've done before. Because what I hope will come out of this is the resurgence of these streets, right? And I don't want to say the preservation, but the evolution of these local
There's
areas.
A charm. There's an undeniable charm to small town Main Street everywhere.
Yeah,
so,
and to having a relationship with the people in your community, it just seems like a worthwhile idea to me, and so that's why I want to pursue it.
Well, I commend you for taking on this venture, and I believe if you want to see it, you can go to Facebook, Santa Monica Business Improvement Association, and I think underneath on the right there's something to click on to see it, right?
Yeah, you'll see a tab or a box at the top of their page that says. I don't know what it says, but it'll be obvious. Click it. It might say Main Street. Click it, and then it would open up the shared space.
Okay. You don't have to be on Main Street to follow it, but if you want to check it out for your own Main Street, hey, feel free to check it out. Maybe this program will grow and expand. And thank you so much for being on Silicon Beach.
Appreciate it.
And
glad to be here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good luck, and we'll see you next time on Silicon Beach. Thank you for joining us.